All right. So I'm breaking through the layers of programming, and that is breaking down the parts of speech of what I would perceive to be fact and or perception slash truth. And it is a layer by layer peeling back. It's like an onion. Holy crap. And it's not easy. I mean, I'm on the Jilly Juice and I have trouble peeling back the layers of programming. I can only imagine those that are not on Jilly Juice would have my information would go over their head. I mean, it does, and I know that. But I'm okay with that because I'm I'm dissecting and I'm exercising my ability to critically think. Now, this is true critical thinking. You don't get that in college. Hold on a second. Come here, sugar. Come on. Come on, sugar. Come on. Get in. Come on. Okay. Sorry about that. So, I'm saying, like, what can you see over there? Anything interesting? Okay. Well, anyways. So, all right. So, anyways. So I was on somebody's page just doing some debating, especially, some of these journalists who are writing articles with their own slant to it. And I know that's going to happen, okay? But I want to exercise my way of being critical of journalists and pointing out, like, not just a whole sentence, because that's, like, too much for some people to really grab onto. So I picked out one word, and that word was rambling, okay? And so this then had me understand what fact was. Fact is something that it does not, that is true in all contexts, okay? That it's undebatable, not debatable, indisputable. And so if you have to debate a word being used, like I don't like the word word being used because it has a pejorative type of connotation and qualifier. And so people were trying to say it's a verb, rambling, but rambling used as a qualifier for a speech isn't really a friendly qualifier. So we all got into this debate, and I said, hey, this is a perception. Your article is a perception. It is not a fact. Your bias is showing, and I said I wish that some journalists would report on the news with no biases and no slants. Just report the news without showing us your bias. And so he said, no, I'm not biased. And then I said, hey, this word rambling is an adjective. And then someone else said, well, no, it's a verb. No, it's this. Okay, it's a noun. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, so right there, if you have to debate on the context of how a word's being used, therefore, that sentence is not a fact if you have to debate a context. So then I was thinking like facts, and I thought the facts would be both nouns and verbs. But no, a fact is only a noun, a person, place, or thing. A verb would qualify the noun, and that could be up for dispute. You say, oh yeah, a dog is running, but someone say, no, the dog isn't running, the dog is walking. Whenever you qualify a person, place, or thing, that would be up for dispute. That would be up for perception. It would be a different truth for everybody, because some people would say, no, the dog is not running, the dog is jaunting, okay? Or it's a slow jaunt, or it's a slow gait, or whatever. So even a verb can be a perception, to be a context. So a verb can't even be a fact. So the only facts are something that's indisputable, and that is a person, place, or thing, a noun, okay? And so whenever you read an article and it's not just full of nouns, because that would be really like boring, right? Then you have like, okay, well, nouns and verbs, but then that, is perception, like a noun and verb be like, Trump is reading an article or Trump is reading a speech. Well, that's not very exciting. Then someone puts Trump is reading a rambling speech, or he is rambling while reading his speech. And then that then creates a bias, because someone easily could say Trump is reading an amazing speech. So even then I had to go back into my paper when I'm writing about this and then recategorize what facts are. And facts is only a noun. And then the perception, which creates context and truths, but not a fact, is the qualifiers. It's the verbs, it's the adjectives, and the adverbs that qualify the noun that make it into a perception, into a context that isn't universally correct in all of everything. So facts would be universally correct. Fact would be like the sun. Universally correct. The sun, well, the sun rises in every place. Well, some people say the sun doesn't rise everywhere because you go to Alaska and the sun doesn't rise every day, right? Or it does, but it's very minimal. So even then, so a fact would have to be something that would be true in all contexts. Okay? And so that's like, facts like autophagy, like concepts that are in peer-reviewed journals, like the law, like the fact that it's illegal in some states to smoke marijuana. Okay, so that's a law. Now, whether or not that law is applied to you could then be perception and context disputable. So whenever a something is applied to a person, that's when perception comes in. So that's what I discovered through all of this, is that I'm even peeling back my own brainwashing on what is fact and what is perception and what is truth. Truth and perception are context. They're not facts. And whenever you read articles and all of the journalism articles, the media, the YouTubers and bloggers, you're not getting facts. You're getting someone's perception. The only facts that you will know of is if you actually look up words in a dictionary and you look up definitions and concepts that are not someone's perception of a solution, not someone's perception of a problem, but what is autophagy? What is a cell? What is a protein? What is skin? What are organs? Those are facts. But when you start getting someone's perception of that it's bad, or you get someone says good or bad or beautiful or too much or too little, you're getting a perception. You're not getting facts. You're getting somebody's perception that is fact. It's their perception based upon their agenda or them regurgitating somebody else's agenda. So when you read something in an article that says that chili juice has too much salt, that is a perception. That is not a fact. And when someone says, oh yeah, salt kills, it might kill in one context, but it doesn't kill in another context. So therefore, it's not a fact. It's a perception based upon context. Context is perception. Con is defrauding someone. Text is jargon. And so when you have all these different contexts, okay, then you're getting perceptions. You're not getting facts. And that's really what is missing in the schools out there, whether it's high school, junior high, colleges. You're getting a subjective perspective on the intention of your professors, who then cater to the government, who also holds up the corporations, who are inevitably run and driven by money. Okay? Money is the almighty dollars is what drives these perceptions out there. Because if you actually brought in enough salt in your diet, you wouldn't see cancer, disease, and chronic illness. Therefore, you wouldn't be on prescription drugs or doing all these different protocols that are being sold on the holistic and the allopathic market. Money is the ultimate reason why we have college. Because college is subjective. It brings you in a very tunneled perspective where you only see one part of the pie, but they don't want you to see the whole part of the pie. Why? Because if you saw the whole part of the pie, there's no money in understanding the whole. There's money when you actually specialize in one little area and you don't see the connections. And so therefore you can sell people remedies, ideas, politics, and make money off of skewing a truth and not working from facts. And that is the whole point of the context between politics, religion, and science, is to keep people tunneled in their subjective perceptions, never truly investigating or researching facts, and then you buy whatever's being sold to you through the journalists out there, through the media, through these bloggers, okay? And so that's why I've been given a bad rap, because somebody who buys into the subjective system made a correlation and a perception based upon the training in the system that serves to keep you tunneled where you don't see the bigger picture, because it wouldn't make them money if you saw the bigger picture. So when you train a student into only looking at subjective material where you don't see the bigger picture, you don't see a small picture, then they will be easily manipulated. And then people accept death as an outcome. They accept their cancer, disease, and chronic illness and say that it was God's will. They will accept everything that is the antithesis of what they innately believe in, which is life. Oh, I believe I should live, so I'll go get chemotherapy and cannabis and all these drugs and all these things. Okay, but you want to live, but you're applying chemistry that is completely the antithesis of life. That's how the medical, holistic, and academic system creates very misaligned body, minds, and spirits. And then the outcome is obesity. The outcome is underweight. The outcome is autoimmunity. The outcome is accepting death at all costs. You don't care when it happens. You just don't want to die today, but you don't care if you die tomorrow. But what is tomorrow? Tomorrow doesn't even exist. The future is now, but you all are living for tomorrow because you've been trained to behave in a certain way today because it's a method of control. When you finally deal with the past issues of all of your body, mind, and spirit, and then all you have is today, and there is no tomorrow because tomorrow doesn't exist yet, then all you have really is now, which is bringing in the right chemistry so daily you'll be able to move around in your environment without wondering when you're going to have a heart attack and stroke and die from it. But that's right now, people are living it from that perspective, is that at some point they're going to die from a heart attack, stroke, or whatever their parents' predispositions are. When in actuality, you have control every single day to bring in the right chemistry to recalibrate your body to then adapt to your environment, no matter the fluctuations. If there's a fluctuation here, you'll adapt to it. Fluctuation there, you'll adapt to it. But no, the academic system, the whole system, especially in the Department of Education, they compartmentalize everything so that way it justifies you getting specialized in something. And you pay money for that, and then you feel like you're accomplished. Oh, I have a credential, I have a degree, I'm so accomplished. And then you're so tunneled you can't see the macro level, you can only see the micro level, and you don't see the connections. And this is why people have a hard time with new information, because they're so freaking tunneled. It's like insane what I deal with. It's insane when I introduce, something like a very intellectual thought process, and people have a hard time with that. Because it challenges their truths. It challenges their perceptions. And then what is it? Truth passes through 3 stages, right? First, it's ridiculed, then it's violently opposed, and then it's accepted as self-evident. But truth doesn't mean it's fact. Facts are very different from truths. Facts are not fun, but truths and perceptions are always fun. And then people get all emotional around the truths, many different truths out there. And so that's what the truther community is all about, is that you just traded one truth, one perception of the mainstream, how, the system is all for about, promoting life. And then you find out that, oh my God, no, it's something that the Rothschilds and the Illuminati. Then you let that old truth fall away. You adopt a new truth, and now you're all like enlightened and all woke, right? But then it's the same truth, but dressed up in a different way. But you never get to the facts because you've been sprinkled and you've been manipulated into different truths out there. Just like when you go from Cipro prescription drug antibiotics to another truth, which is then, natural antibiotics or cannabis, and you think that's doing something different. No, it's not. You just traded one truth for another. You traded one addiction for another. That's exactly what goes on in the allopathic holistic Department of Education system. And so it's breaking through the layers of programming, which is parts of speech, and then understanding how that parts of speech creates the mind control and then ultimately caters to people's demise. Have a good day. Do Jilly Juice. Bye.